Greetings, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy morning. And this is Carla coming live here from my RV. If you know me and follow me on Facebook or just know me personally, you know that I am in the middle of traveling between Arizona and Illinois. And we just completed our yoga teacher training session yesterday, so we are headed back to Arizona as of this afternoon. But wanted to come in and just check in and see if there were questions coming in from those who are interested in cleansing, but may have some questions about it. Each spring and fall, we come together in a group cleanse. And we have a wonderful time actually together. And we, understand why we need to cleanse our body. We have a lot of toxic overload happening, whether it's the foods that we're eating or just, environmental stuff happening. There's all types of toxins that build up in the body. And it's not just from the physical sense either. It's from the mental and emotional sense. Hi, Tawny. Thanks for joining. Just so you know, there is a little bit of a delay in the transmission. So if you post a question here and it takes a couple seconds for me to answer, the reason is because there is a little bit of a delay. So that being said, we have, signs of toxic overload shows, whether we're just really lethargic or we're gaining weight. We have this heaviness going on in our body. Digestive issues, all of these things are indications that a cleanse might be something that's good for us to do. Also, that being said, there's millions of cleanses out there, right? So anyone who's interested in cleansing has, the juice cleanse, the master cleanse, and fasting and intermittent fasting and all those things, which actually happen to be a little bit harsh to the body. And an Ayurvedic cleanse only happens at certain times of the year. And it is only at certain times of the year because there are times when we are not as strong as other times, right? And so we don't want to cleanse, for example, in the middle of the winter. The body is in a state of depletion, lack of sunlight, and things like that. So it's not only how we're cleansing, when we're doing it as well. So Ayurveda takes all of these things into consideration and how you feel, we recommend only cleansing in spring or fall or during change of season. There are special cases. But for this cleanse, this is more of a lighter cleanse. This is not a deep panchakarma treatment. This is not the true panchakarma. This is more of a subtle and very light version of that, which will still bring great relief to the body and mind and a great flushing of, the season, what we may have accumulated in how we're eating, what we're experiencing in life. So it really can be quite refreshing to the body. It's also a really nice chance just to recharge and spend some time in self-care. I say this because I have had many people come to the cleanse with these ideas and these expectations about what it's going to be. Maybe they're a little bit nervous or apprehensive about it. Should I do it? And I say, this is a really nice, loving space. This is taking care of you. This is recognizing tendency. This is not about the perfection or the number on the scale and things like that. This is community support. This is transition. So all of those things are included here, and there is no wrong way to do it. I have had some people participate and decide that they did not block off enough time for themselves, to really focus or rest. It's also about resting. So in this hamster wheel of life that we're on, we can have like this full 7 days of really taking nice hot baths and oiling our body. We're taking care of ourselves from the inside out. And that's why this cleanse is so loving and beautiful. It's not about deprivation and struggling and hating every minute of it. It's very different. It's a space where we really enjoy it. And on the other side of it, we actually come out of it with this renewed sense of energy and deep rest and sleep and nourishment. And, something that occurs all the time in this cleanse is that, these sparks of energy are just coming that most of us haven't felt in a long time because we are depleted, right? So that being said, if you have participated in the cleanse in the past, it is, a simple click of the button to register. It's $10, and that just covers all of the communications and the time spent in sending you things. And I only implement this simply because I've had many people who could come back for free. I did it for a long time, where if you were a past participant, you could do that for free. And then it was kind of taken for granted. So there has to be some type of energy exchange that happens. So if you are a past participant, and I have many that actually really enjoy this cleanse, and they keep coming back season after season. And so that's just a quick $10. You go on my website, and I will actually put the link in right here. So I've added the link to the comments to just click there, and you will actually pull up the step-by-step process, what to expect, exactly the dates of all the communications that will be coming. So Tawny asked the question, I think fasting when I hear cleanse. So can you tell us if fasting is required? No, fasting is not required. You eat when you are hungry. You have sweets available because I think that sometimes when we think about going into a cleanse again, we think, oh my gosh, I can't have. That's all that really sticks in the mentality. So here it's much more about what can I really have that will satisfy my sweet taste, that will nourish me really well, that will bring a sense of deep hydration to my body. So there is absolutely no fasting. It is a mono diet. So we will go into the first 7 days are a preparatory stage. Some people who have joined in the past already know what to expect, so they want to just kind of dive right in there. But for everyone who's brand new, I say really use this 7 days as a preparatory space of understanding your time. What does my morning routine look like? What does my work day look like? I have working women with small kids. I have retirees, and every age group and every walk of life. So this is absolutely, you're able to do this no matter where you are in life. But the fasting is really not what we think it is. We are fasting to a certain degree, but what we're fasting from is meat and dairy and refined sugars. But there's all this other stuff that's included that's really good and nourishing. And I think anyone, if you're here, if you've been a past participant, they can comment on the cilantro chutney that ends up going on everything that they just want to drink. And cilantro is a really beautifully cleansing plant substance that removes heavy metals from the body. So there are all, in here you're going to get all of those recipes and all of the shopping list and all of those things about what foods are available. So fasting is not required, but it is actually happening. It's just done in a different way. We do it in a different sense. We're fasting from certain substances, but we are not fasting from eating food. So the first week is the preparatory week to gather supplies, to begin to maybe do some morning routines, to begin the self-care practices and see what that looks like time-wise for you. And then the second week is when we go into this active phase of mono diet, right? So there are grains, there are legumes, there are vegetables, there are sweet treats, there are fruit. And in our Facebook group, when you register, you also are part of the Facebook group, and everyone shares their recipes in there and maybe some inspirational quotes. And I have found that, even those who have not known each other, especially here in the Willowbrook area, who have not known each other, actually became friends and acquaintances through this cleanse and really support each other. So that being said, at the end of this active 7-day phase, then there is a flush. There is a purgation that happens, and it's different for each person. So if you're brand new, I'm going to do a miniature assessment for you, which will come by way of email. You'll send that back to me. And then I will give you a plan based on your answers of where you are in a digestive state, where you are in a physical structure state, and where you are in an emotional state, right? So those things will be included. It is not a full consultation for Ayurveda. You cannot look at it that way. This is a very mini assessment to do so I understand what's going to serve you best digestively. Because when we clean the body, when we cleanse the body, what's happening is we're putting our digestive state in the absolute amount of ease. There's no stress on the digestive system. There's no tension. There is no struggle, right? So all of the things that we normally eat, maybe protein bars and synthetic protein powders, crunchy, dry things, right, are not being consumed. So your digestive tract really has a chance to settle down and to find space and ease. So if there's acid reflux occurring, if there's constipation occurring, if there's chronic diarrhea, all of those digestive things count. It matters. And so that all finds a space of ease here. That all gets resolved. And what happens is that when your digestive system is in a state of ease, then you actually assimilate nutrients much stronger, number one. So, hello, Angie. Thank you for being here. You are on, I have a question here. I am on a biological IV treatment. May I do the cleanse? So I would say if you are under medical care and you are intravenously receiving medications, no, the cleanse is not for you at this time. A full panchakarma treatment would be necessary for you following your care. Right? So this, even though this is a very light cleanse, it's not recommended if you're pregnant, all right? It's okay if you're breastfeeding because it's very nourishing to the body and the baby. So these are questions that also come up. But if you are under, medical treatment, if you are in the midst of chemotherapy, or if you are in the midst of really strong medications and undergoing therapies, no, this is not the time for you, right? But I would love to have you back in the spring because it is, again, very rejuvenative, okay? So Mary Jo says, parsley for the handful. What is this? Parsley for the handful of us that choose not to do cilantro. Right. So some people don't like cilantro. I did mention the cilantro chutney. So yes, some people don't like it, and that's okay. There are options again. There's also sesame seed chutney and things like that. So there are even options, And I also, try to make this a space where there are options available, right? Some people say, oh my gosh, I've heard about those Ayurveda cleanses. That means you need to eat khichdi. Is that going to happen? Yes, there's khichdi involved. But it is, again, not to put our body into this state of battling this thing out. So I do offer options of, if khichdi becomes something that's a little challenging after a couple of days, we're going to do this instead without going off of your cleansing routine, right? So at the end of this, what happens is the digestive system goes into a state of ease, and so all these toxins start getting pulled out of the body because now you're using resources, right, that you haven't maybe used in a while, because when the digestive system is under a state of stress, or we're eating a lot of meat and a lot of cheese and, crunchy, dry things, right? It's part of life. When we're eating all of that, the body is not utilizing, it's not pulling, right? So if it's not pulling from the nooks and crannies, so to speak, it's always got something in it. It's always got something going on, right? This is where the cleanse itself just starts to pull all those toxins out of their hiding places, out of the joints, right? So let's think about that. If we don't have a free radical irritating the joint, then that means that the inflammatory response is going to come down. So inflammatory joint pain will be reduced automatically from detoxing the body, right? So a lot happens here. Digestive issues resolve, pain decreases, all of that. But, you know, I talk about this in the cleanse as well. In the first couple of days of the active part, there's a healing crisis that can occur because all these toxins are coming out. And now we might feel a little bit like, man, I have some aches and some body pains and I'm pretty grouchy today. I don't want to talk to anyone. You know, this is all that stuff coming out of the system. So it even becomes very clear that that's occurring. It doesn't happen for everyone, but it can happen, right? You know, this cleanse again is just less irritating to the body, less harsh. It's just much more loving, right? And nice and easeful and nourishing and happy. So if you're brand new, it's a home-based cleanse. Everyone does it from their home, so it happens from around the country. I mentioned in the spring I had 80 participants with us. So this was brand new people plus people from the past. Your registration comes through. The link is here in the comments. If you go on there and if you're brand new, you register as a new participant. And then I get that notification. I will turn around then and send you an email and say, hey, thanks for registering. Here's your assessment form. Fill this out, send it back to me by registration deadline, which is next Sunday, the 17th. And then on the 18th, everyone who's registered will get a confirmation email. Thank you, welcome. You know, I'm glad to have you with us. You will get a link to the Facebook group page to join us there. You will also, in that email, you will also have all the links to the Zoom gatherings that we're going to have every, Friday night. And those dates will be listed. It is Friday night, the 22nd. It is Friday night, I believe it's the 5th. And then on Sunday, the 7th, the end of the cleanse, we will have 3 group gatherings. Those gatherings are recorded, so if you think, oh, well, I can't attend that, right? So I do record those and send out the recording, so everyone will always be included on the discussion. You will also get a cleanse before and after kind of tracking sheet because I want you to see the difference, right? I don't want to just say, oh, you're going to notice the difference. I want you to actually write it down and see what occurs for you in this shift, right? Some people are more focused on different things. Maybe it is their energy level. Maybe it's just self-care and taking care of themselves rather than taking care of everyone else all the time. Maybe it is restful sleep. Maybe it is alleviating insomnia, but maybe it's weight loss, right? So weight loss is a big one. Many people come to cleanses because they want to lose weight. Well, let me explain that for just a moment. It does happen. Even those who say, well, I don't really want to lose weight, they're more vata structured where they're already thin, they may still lose a couple of pounds. That does not come back because that weight itself is toxin that has been stored in the adipose tissue. On the other side, I've had it in the past where someone has lost 15 pounds in just 2 weeks and was astonished by that because they didn't feel like they were on any kind of diet or anything. They had sweet treats, they ate whenever they were hungry, there was no fasting, there was no battle, and so they don't understand how they could lose 15 pounds without this struggling diet situation, right? So what's happening there is that those actual toxins that have been stored in the adipose tissue are being released and pulled out of the body, right? So it is very real. So I do provide the before and after tracking sheet so you can track skin, energy, pain levels, weight, all of it, right? So you can just see the difference of what happens before and after. If you are one of my clients, if you are already a client of mine who has had an Ayurvedic consultation with me and I already understand your doshic profile and your background, then you would register as a new participant but current client, right? So that means you've had an Ayurvedic consultation with me. And it is differentiated because you might think, well, I'm a current client of yours because I'm one of your private yoga students, right? So being a yoga student is different. The current client would be considered someone that I've done an Ayurvedic consultation for. So I don't have to go through that assessment for you and compose your plan. So on the link, again, in the comments here, if you click that link, it will go through and talk more about, number one, why we're cleansing the body, the signs of toxic overload, the 5 toxins to consider, and then how it is that Ayurveda is a little bit more loving and not as harsh to the body. We're not trying to put you into a state of starvation. That is not what happens here. Something that happens with harsher cleanses out there on the market is that, you do a juice cleanse for 3 or 4 days. And so, of course, you're going to lose weight because you have no food in your body. It's all just fluids that are passing through. But there's no flush or purgation that is done. So all these toxins can get pulled out of their hiding spaces in a matter of 3 days. And then you just go back to eating the way that you were before and doing things business as usual. And that doesn't serve anyone really well because then, of course, the minute you eat food, it's going to put the weight right back on you. And now all those toxins have not really been flushed out of the body. They've just moved, right? So you're not really going to feel much better. That is not the regeneration of an Ayurvedic cleanse. So the purgation is easeful. Many people, again, those who have cleansed with me in the past, come back to do it over and over. So, it's something that is enjoyed by others and it's not anything to be apprehensive about. And there's different options. There's herbs and oils that are used for that. And so what happens when we do that is we have a preparation phase for the mind and the emotion, right? And then we have the active phase for the mind, the body, the digestion, the toxins itself. Then we have a flush of all of that. So it resets the digestive system. So now we need to talk about, well, now what? Now that the system is reset, we need to discuss regeneration, rejuvenation, which is referred to as rasina. So these steps and this sequence is done very, very particular because we have to get our mind around it first. We really can't do anything successfully if we don't have our mind wrapped around it. If we just decide that we're going to jump into a juice cleanse, that's all we do is, all right, I got to get ready. I got to prepare myself. I'm going to not be eating anything. And in the mind, it's already stress. So the cleanse itself becomes another stressor for you, right? That's not what this is about. This is about really being at peace with the process and enjoying it and being very loving to self. So, I welcome any questions. I know there is a little bit of a delay, so like I said, I'll kind of step back a little bit here and just wait a moment and see if some questions come through. Everything is done by email. We do meet live for Facebook, I'm sorry, not Facebook, but Zoom webinars. So when questions arise, they can be answered there. If anyone who knows me, I like to talk a lot, and so I kind of do pop into that Facebook group and offer some more video and offer some more support in there as well. And I would have to say, I can say with conviction that I probably do offer the most support I have ever witnessed in the arena of Ayurvedic cleansing, where it's not that I'm just going to email you a bunch of stuff and you're on your own. Like, you're going to see me, you're going to speak to me, you're going to be able to ask me questions directly. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be with you. So, how do you control mind? Well, that is understanding perceptions. That is understanding sattva, rajas, tamas. That is Vedic teaching. But that is also understanding your tendencies. And I'm going to say that you're probably fully aware of that, Sanjay. So your question is coming in. But I think that, how do you control the mind? That means meditation. That means, altering your perception of your reality, but also doing it without criticism. you know. So we tend to run around ourselves, and we are filled with anxiety, and we are filled with anger, and we are filled with lots of resentment from the way that life is going. So it is to just sit down in a space of quiet. And that's part of this cleanse also, is that the daily practice is to find 5 or 10 minutes of quiet time, to do self-inquiry, the jnana yoga of understanding self-tendency and how to shift through it, and to really understand, do I desire this, or do I have an addiction? I mean, all of these things can come up during this cleanse. So it's not just this, hey, fly by the seat of your pants type of gathering. It's definitely very much mental and emotional too. And with that, I am here for that support, to have those discussions. So, those who have cleansed with me, if they're out there, if they want to make comments about, the type of support that they receive, and whether, this is a doable cleanse. We always go on what we hear from other people, right? And so I say, if you have cleansed in the past and you enjoyed it and you want to share it with other people, do so. This video right here is going to be recorded also. It's a live chat here, but it's going to be recorded. So it'll be saved to my Facebook page, and you can come back to it and refer to it at any time, or share the link to it with friends and family who might be interested. You're welcome, Sanjay. Thank you for joining today. So I will just leave it open, just about 4 minutes left here. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. If any questions arise, feel free to make comments here, even after the fact. If you're watching the video versus the live, you can still put comments in here, and I'll get a notification to come back and answer those questions for you. Again, there's also yoga, so I will be offering yoga classes as well. Throughout the cleanse, I always offer yoga to go along with it. It is a separate registration. And so that is done online, again, because this is all done remotely. You do not have to be cleansing to participate in the online yoga classes. The detox yoga that will happen the first week happens, hey Connie, hello, hey Jasmine. So the detox yoga happens the first week, and it is focused to understand more about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. All classes are for everybody, but we will do Vata, Pitta, and Kapha balancing during those classes. And then the second week, when we were doing active cleanse, that is rest. So all of those classes are restorative, because we do not suggest, doing strenuous activity during active cleanse week. So those are all restorative classes that week. That being said, Sanjay, you say, I get angry on small issues. Well, that we would say that's a pitta, imbalance going on. And so maybe you want to look more into that with your local Ayurveda. I'm going to imagine you are surrounded by Ayurveda practitioners who could certainly help you and give you some recommendations on how to balance that out. Tani, thanks for your note here. Helpful session to make up your mind. Again, it's to know that this is really a comfortable and supportive space, and that no matter what arises, you are not left on your own. Wanda just joined and said, howdy. Wanda has been cleansing with me for years. And so, hi, Wanda. Maybe put a comment here and let everyone know how you feel about this cleanse and how it's treated you. So Yarate, hello. You would really like to do this sometime. Wonderful. So this happens in the fall and in the spring. And so, Sanjay, you're telling me how, you're asking the question of how I would have you reach out to your local practitioner. Okay. Someone close by to you, and I'm sure you could find them on Google. So I do not advise overseas, right? Only in North America. If you choose that you would like to do this cleanse, I would actually say, you have the option of doing a full Panchakarma treatment also, so think about that. All right, so with that, I'm going to just bring it to a close. We're at about 29 minutes. I wanted to keep this to half an hour. And again, you can come back and check in here, ask more questions. I'm happy to post answers to it. Send me an email, send me a request anytime. And I look forward to having you. We're going to get started as soon as I get back to Arizona on Sunday. I will be, just kind of posting also, like it's registration deadline for everyone at that time. I have moms and daughters and sisters and family members who join together. So that's always fun. And so, yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this or for being here with me. And I look forward to our time together. If you would like to cleanse, we're going to start October 23rd. You're very, very welcome. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.